Could you imagine paying for something that used to be free? Well, neither could I. Growing up, a lot of people around my parents' age, driving courses were included in school and were free. But during my time, like my period, we had to pay for driver's ed. And me growing up, I wasn't as fortunate to have parents to pay for driving ed or have a job to pay for myself. So I just waited till I was 18. Fortunately, I was able to get my driver's license when I was 14. My audience that I speak to is my audience that I speak to are teenagers who are around the same age who are either just getting their license or soon to get the license. What will happen if more people aren't able to take driver ed? I feel like more people will not be as educated to know the laws of the road or follow laws of the road, which will cause more accidents and just not as safe. A lot of people, especially in the urban areas, don't have the money to pay for classes and just choose not to pay for classes. So that causes a lot of concern. And what I would talk about in my speech today is the solution to driving, also driver classes, also the problem and the outcome that will come from our driver classes being more affordable or placed back in schools. Like I said before, people who can't afford driver class tend to be people in urban areas or just even people in wealthy areas who just don't have parents to pay for driver classes or like have the time to go. And of course, if you're not going to classes, you're not really learning how to drive the correct way. A solution to having cheaper classes is to put classes back in all schools like they were before. Many people who don't take classes, even though after 18 you're able to get your license, many people who don't take classes still end up not getting their license and will end up driving illegal, especially where I'm from. A lot of my friends growing up, they don't have license and they just drive illegal. A statistic is 1 in 5 kids don't take driver's ed, and this is in the past 50 years. In the past 50 years, a lot of laws that are in the books or on the road haven't changed much. Like less than 1% of the laws for roads have changed. A study also shows people who don't take driver ed, it doesn't mean that they're like a bad driver or anything. A solution is, I believe people should push for more state support on driver education and programs to be funded back in school. Because the reason for driving ed not being in school is due to cut funding, mostly due to budget cuts, many for more college entrance classes requirements for high schools. In a perfect world, I can see less accidents due to more people partaking in driving classes as teenagers and learning the correct way. Just luckily, I had good older siblings who taught me how to drive, and I just studied the book and got my temps. But I still would rather went to driver's ed. A way people can reach out to get a change in this. People can mail letters to City Hall or like to their state government to try to get funding, put back in driving courses, back in classes. Many reasons that someone might not get their license or like take driver classes and like when they're 16 or 17 is due to gas being high. Buying a car can be expensive. There's fewer funding in schools, and or a lot of times, well, actually, kind of in my case, people are just too busy with high school and work or anything like that to take classes. And also, I like to point out that not just urban areas, but everywhere, people who tend to not take driver classes tend to be not as good drivers, or less educated as drivers. I believe they should my solution is to put driving classes back in school and also like not just driving classes, but like on-road driver classes too for students. I think that would help out a lot of people get their license and not drive illegal or anything. And the total outcome, I feel like, would just be more safe, better drivers on the road. And this is my presentation. Thank you.